the squeeze and the cheese. I'm the squeeze, having lost 5 pounds this week. I'm not going to be the squeeze much longer. And I'm getting a treadmill too, so I'm going to be on the treadmill working my ass off trying to be a WWE wrestler at age 50. And he's the cheese, my partner in crime for so many years. And, we were the tag team, the squeeze and the cheese, back in the late 90s, but we never got anywhere because we just didn't have the dedication. But anyway, it's us again for SNC's WWE talk. And man, geez, this Raw. I sat through this entire Raw, and I sat through the 3 hours. I didn't even see the 3 hours, but I sat through the 3 hours, and I was entertained. Sorry, someone's cooking something. It's me. It's me. Someone's cooking something. Just a second.
Someone's cooking something.
Yeah,
Is
someone's
it
cooking
is the
something
Rock at your
downstairs.
house?
What happened?
Is the Rock at your house?
No, yeah,
Is
The
he,
Rock is cooking
is he
chitlins,
the
man.
one
He's
that's
cooking chitlins downstairs. He's cooking chitlins, man. Some collard greens, some black eyed peas, some fried chicken, some watermelon. We're having a down home southern black barbecue, man.
It's almost 4th of July. Watermelon would be and fried chicken would be good.
Yeah, yeah, you know me, man. I like the southern barbecues. They're great stuff, man. I love ribs and tri-tip too. Yeah, and all that stuff. Cornbread, oh man, ham hocks, all that stuff, man. I grew up with my friends who are from Louisiana, and they love that stuff too. So we always had barbecues that way. Yeah, I never ever
Yes,
the
yeah.
black barbecue, but it's something else, man. Anyway,
Yes, yeah.
so anyway, bro, yeah, but oh my god, man, this Raw. I sat through the entire 3 hours, bro, and I was thoroughly entertained. There's not one bad segment on the entire Raw. It was good the entire way through, from the beginning to the end. The stuff with Damian Priest.
And that again, they have that CM Punk, comes in and impacts the world of wrestling. When he really, I don't know, he really shouldn't be, in my opinion. He shouldn't be in that spot yet, because he just came back. He gets hurt. He's horrible. So that Drew didn't win, I was pissed. Um, so I thought it was garbage. So I went into this week, ready to fast forward through most of it. Um, but yeah, no, it was good. It was entertaining. The I think Zelina Vega she's gotten much better in the ring than she used to be. I remember
Yeah,
when I used to see her in a match, I kind of tune out because she didn't do much. She's very nice to look at. She's super cute. Very physically attractive, but she just wasn't good in the ring. But now, probably about maybe a year ago, she really started to like, I don't want to say shine in the ring, but really, be competent in the ring, and can really, has the flow and puts the moves down. So I enjoyed the match with her in it. Sky, winning, but I thought, I would have believed it if any three of them, even that one broad, who was it, Fallon Henley, that was in it. If she would have, she did well too.
I
So
think it was Kiana James is her name.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
Kiana James. Yeah,
yeah. Fallon's still in NXT. Um,
yeah.
so I thought that was good. In the Carlito, I really like Carlito. I like how he works in the ring, and kind of just how, even like, physically, how his facial expressions when, like when the one dude, the masked guy, who was he fighting again? He was the LWO, the masked dude, not Sin
Dragon
Cara.
Lee. Dragon Lee.
When Dragon Lee did the Hurricane Rana, like from inside the ring, and he flipped Carlito outside, just like there was a moment where you could see Carlito's face, and he just kind of did that like surprise, like, oh shit, look. So I think he's really good, like in
I
telling
thought
the
that spot was really, really dangerous. I thought Carlito was going to fall on his head, man. I didn't like that spot one bit.
I thought, I thought it was entertaining.
No, it
Um,
was a great spot, but I thought Carlito was going to fall flat on his head, dude.
dangerous,
I'm like, oh
yeah.
man, Carlito's going to die. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that was some good stuff. You're talking about that match. That was good. All the matches were good. Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Jey Uso was okay, but I think out of those three, the weak link was Jey Uso. He just cannot wrestle, man. He's not a good wrestler. But
Mhm.
yeah, he went over because he's very popular. I mean, he's selling it to a lot of the merchandise. You see that Yeet T-shirt is selling like hotcakes. So I
Yeah.
mean, he and Drew quitting now. I know he didn't quit. That's just an angle. But they say he's going to show up on in Chicago on Friday to beat up CM Punk, and it's going to add more heat to the fire when they meet at SummerSlam. So yeah, that's
That
what's
would be
happening
funny.
there.
Yeah, like with because I was very disappointed when Gable didn't win. But if they put Braun Breaker into the IC title picture against Sami Zayn, if Breaker, that's his title, I'd be okay with that. I
Just
think
a
that'd be a
second, bro. My maid's calling me. Yes, come in. Entra.
Que se tome esto, dice, buenos días, Gonzalito, ¿cómo está?
Bien, bien, bien.
Que se
Thank you.
tome eso, dice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Get me some water, please.
¿Eh?
Agua.
No tiene acá.
No, echa eso. Sorry, bro.
no worries, bro. You're a busy man, bro. I don't have maids.
Ya.
I
I
have
don't
a
have any.
maid, bro.
I don't have any. I don't have any. I don't have any servants like that. I'm all my own, man.
Yeah, I got to get into my background with you another day. You know a little bit about it, but it comes from that. So, anyway, yeah, she just gave me my water. Anyway, I have to take my medications later. But anyway, bro, so what did you think about what do you think about this, man? This thing is with the Wyatt Six. What did you think about that? What did you think about the entire angle, the debut, Uncle Howdy, the members? What do you think about this? Do you think this has any legs?
Not, no. I don't think so. Like well, it depends if they wrestle or not. Bray Wyatt. I'm sure he was a wonderful man. I'm sad. He has kids. His wife. He left. He died very young. Um, so from everything, kind of just little snippets I read on the internet, he was a really good guy. He was beloved in the locker room. But as a performer, like I just didn't, when he was first with the White family, I dug him. But then when he became like the Fiend and all this other stuff, it just like was, oh, it sucked, bro. He would, everything was just so dragged out. Everything just took so long to happen with that guy. And I don't know if it was because he was sick at the end, so they, had to move slow with everything, but it just like everything just so dragged out. And they kind of did that, with these guys, with the new Wyatt Six. It's like, man, if you guys are gonna do the same shit where it's just drag every single thing out, and can they wrestle like when he did that one match is the burnt. Remember when Randy Orton burned him up in remember when Randy Orton burned the Fiend, and then the
Yeah,
Fiend came back as like the scarred Fiend, and he couldn't move,
yeah,
and
yeah. I
it
remember
reminds
that.
me of the Yeti. If the costumes that the guys wear, because Dexter Loomis, Gacy, um, Rowan, like they can all move in the ring. They're all competent. I think Joe Gacy's pretty funny. With his antics, his facial expressions, things like that. How he controls his voice. So if the costumes are so overpowering that it doesn't allow them to kind of move, if they're getting so much more into the, hey, we want these cool masks, we want these cool costumes, then I think it's going to take a shit. Funkle Howdy can't move in his big hat and things like that. I think it's going to take a shit. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm not very sold on it. What about you, bro?
I think it's okay. I don't know how long it's gonna last. So, I think this thing is going to. I don't know. It's okay looking so far. I mean, we just have to give it some time. We don't know how long this is going to be drawn out, but they're trying to make this something big on Raw. But what I'm thinking is they finally made Bo Dallas interesting because this is an interesting take on this. Oh, shit, here we
Oh,
go.
they're cooking again.
Oh man, that just always happens, man. But anyway, I'm gonna talk over this. So anyway, bro, what I'm thinking is they made Bo Dallas interesting, and Bo Dallas was never interesting. If they put him with his brother earlier on, doing something similar to this, it would have been a lot better. But
Yeah.
I mean, they just didn't do it. I mean, they just didn't have the angle. Who came up with Uncle Howdy in the first place? I mean, they could have done this with Bray Wyatt back in the day. They could have had a tag team, Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt, and they could have had all these. They could have made a whole stable, like an NWO like stable of Bray Wyatt characters, just running a roughshod over the WWF. You know, just the whole theatrics of everything. The whole
Yeah.
theatrics of this whole sick family would have been something like, something out of Charles Manson or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre all over the WWE. This whole angle right now is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man. I mean, except you don't got guys with leather face masks on. You got guys with totally original characters. So I mean, oh man, I'm dude, you gotta. This is why. This is
Yeah.
why I told everybody. This gotta end, man. This has gotta end. This woman, dude, she's driving me crazy. Fuck her. Anyway, but anyway, man. So
So, but
it's like,
with the Wyatts, do you think that? Because remember when the Undertaker got superpowers, and then it was like the Ministry of Darkness and like all that. Like I thought that was kind of crummy. Do you think that this version of the Wyatt family is going to get too much into the supernatural? Kind of
well,
like
sorry I interrupted you, bro, but they say it's gonna be based in reality. It's more based in reality. They're gonna do some actual real shit. They're just a good bunch of sickos doing some real shit, like doing stuff like beating up people and doing like real sick shit on people. That's what they're gonna do. And supposedly the Lantern is the sixth member. The Lantern is supposed to represent Bray and his memory, so that's the sixth member. They said that Alexa Bliss won't be the sixth member of this.
good. I don't like Alexa Bliss. She's she's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, she won't be the sixth. The sixth. Oh my god, I can't even pronounce it. I got allergies right now, bro. After taking my Benadryl. But anyway, so that's what's happening. What do you think about Chad Gable and his quest for something? They say now he's going for Money in the Bank. He's probably going to win the Money in the Bank match next week against Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. What is that shit? How can they get Chad Gable to go over Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed? This is nonsensical booking. I'm sorry, bro.
It's all right,
This is
bro.
not gonna happen next week. But then again, we don't do our shows at 12:30 either. So I mean, anyway, yeah. So yeah. So anyway, what do you think about that? How do you think they're letting this midget go over those two huge guys? It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I think um, since the Alpha Academy, since they walked out on Chad Gable, now he's got to find new Alpha Academies. And like I've read a couple snippets where they're going to put the Creed brothers with it, where the Creeds are going to come in. So next week, during the Money in the Bank match, if the Creed is non-disqualification, if the Creeds show up and beat the hell out of Bronson Reed, beat the hell out of Braun Strowman, then Chad Gable can get the win in a heel way and establish his new Alpha Academy. So that's the only way I could see them, or one of the way I would put them together and see them win.
You know what I would do with this new Alpha Academy? I'd totally just make them go psycho all over everybody. Chad Gable, you can see, has done a whole his facial expressions, his whole heel turn. He's getting more serious, and if he can be more psycho about it, just more serious, and just like I'm a badass Olympian, I'm gonna twist you in pretzels in the ring. He gets the Creed brothers to follow the same demeanor, same way of thinking. These guys are gonna be a force to reckon with, dude. They're gonna be huge. I mean, they're gonna be just if they could do something like that with them, having them just beat up everybody, that would be amazing. I mean, he would probably get over. I would see him as a WWE champion then if he keeps
Yeah,
somehow be booked to that because they booked Shawn Michaels as WWE champion. He was one of the smallest guys ever.
yeah,
Chad Gable's the size of of Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was a multiple-time WWE champion. I think Chad Gable realistically could be a WWE champion if he just gets booked right. I think
Yeah,
they're finally starting to book him right. So that's it. Anyway, man, yeah. What do you think about this whole thing?
about Chad Gable.
About this whole thing, this whole thing with Chad Gable. What do you think? How could they book him better?
No, yeah, no, I think you got it. They just got to stop feeding him to people. Like where he just keeps losing and losing and losing and losing. They have to give him some wins. Whether it be by hook or by crook. Let him get some wins, or else you're gonna, like, or else the fans are just gonna lose interest if he just keeps losing and losing
Yeah,
and losing.
yeah,
Because it's you know, and like right now, because like with him, because I'd like him to win Money in the Bank, but also like LA Knight to win Money in the Bank. I think either one of those two would be would be great. To give it to, but I don't know if if they're gonna would put him on either one of them, or if they're just gonna find another big guy to, hey, all right, here you go, take it.
dude, I'm gonna have a word with her after this. I'm totally gonna fucking tear her a new one, man. It's fucking bullshit. This is bullshit, dude. Anyway, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm getting this whole shit ready. I'm just ready to just fucking. I'm chucking my cookies, man. This is fucking crazy. Anyway, bro. Yeah. So, what do you think about the SummerSlam that's coming up? It's coming up in 2 months. So, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win Money in the Bank according to your predictions? And who do you think is going to be WWE champion by that time? Because we have a title match coming up between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins for the world title. And this week on SmackDown, they're going to have Cody versus somebody. But who do you think is Cody's next challenger?
Jeez, I don't know. Because
They're just trying to enter everything with him, but he's been a good champion so far, but he hasn't had a real legit challenger. And Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins, I think they're just feeding Seth Rollins to Damian Priest. It's going to be a tainted victory, of course, but sooner or later he's going to drop that title to Drew, and or someone's going to drop the title to the Drew, and then or what I don't know, but it's going to be Drew versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. So this whole world title picture and WWE title picture is up in the air. I really
yeah,
don't know where they're going with this. It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
seem like they're booking it right, you know.
yeah,
So
over on SmackDown, who really is there for is there for Cody to fight?
yeah,
Gunther or LA Knight. He's already beaten AJ Styles multiple times. Solo Sikoa was horrible, but he's one of the main guys. They're not going to put the strap on Randy Orton,
yeah.
so they're not going to put it on Kevin Owens. So like who really, who really on to make like a marquee matchup on SummerSlam, do they really have, somebody on roster right now on SmackDown that can kind of, have that kind of like impact, that kind of, big fight feel that they talk about, or is it going to be just like a secondary match? Are they going to have to bring out, a star from Hollywood? Are they going to have to bring out, like Gold? Are they going to dig Goldberg out, and bring him back to get in the ring one more time? I don't know. Well, with that, next year that SummerSlam is going to be 2 days.
You
What's
heard
your
about that? Why didn't you
yeah,
hear that? Well, it's going to be
yeah.
2 days.
It's going to be 2 days. It's how WrestleMania is 2 days right now.
Yeah.
SummerSlam is going to be 2 days. But do you think historically SummerSlam has been a strong enough show to go for 2 days?
Well, this is what's going on in the WWE regarding all these two-day pay-per-views now. They're making a lot of money. For some reason, they're making a lot of money now. They're selling out shows left and right. Doesn't matter how many who's on the card. Doesn't matter what city it's in. They're just selling out everything,
Yeah,
and
it's an event.
they're ceasing trying to expand the U.S. market. They think they saturated all the money out of the U.S. market. They don't think they can get any bigger here, so they're trying to expand to international markets. They say international markets are their bread and butter now. That's why they were going to sell to the Saudi Arabians, because they thought that the international market was going to be huge for them. And now you see they're going to places like France and Israel, not Israel, I mean Saudi Arabia and in England and selling out shows. They're trying to do that. So I think they think that it's strong enough to be able to sell enough to sell out these arenas, because these arenas are huge, man. And they're always filled for like soccer tournaments and football games and baseball games, and wrestling is right up there with them now. So I mean, it's good. Everything is getting popular. UFC is even getting popular. So I mean, so I think that it hasn't historically been as strong as WrestleMania, but I think that it's becoming as strong as WrestleMania. So if it's a 2 hour, 2 day show, I think it's worth going there too, because I mean the wrestlers won't change, and it's a second tier show. If they don't drop a title at WrestleMania, they drop it at SummerSlam. So it is the second most important show of the year, and it's a second chance for some guys to win the title on that card. What do you think about this 2 day thing? Do you think it's a good idea?
I think for some, like I think Royal Rumble should be 2 days. They should do, the men's match one night, the women's match the next night for the main events. That way they can, have an hour and a half, Royal Rumble, for each match, and really, really get into it. But
I don't
SummerSlam,
know,
I don't
man.
know.
It's just too much wrestling on TV.
I've always thought that SummerSlam was one of the weaker, um like pay-per-views. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather watch a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, or I'd rather watch like a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. SummerSlam just always I've always kind of been let down by SummerSlam for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I've always liked SummerSlam because it's a positive show that some of these guys that didn't get the chance to do things at WrestleMania get to do on SummerSlam, and also sometimes they have better wrestlers going over on SummerSlam and win the title that time than WrestleMania. Like Gunther. Gunther right now, as I see it, I don't think he's popular enough to win the title at WrestleMania. But if he wins it at SummerSlam and defends it and goes into the WrestleMania as champion, or somehow loses it in a fluke victory, I think that's just going to increase his popularity. I think people still aren't sold too much on Gunther, because even though he's a badass, I still think that his character is kind of boring. And people are like, oh, this German alpha male, we don't know how to relate to him. How many people in the US can relate to a German alpha male, dude? It's ridiculous. It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type character. He's like the Terminator. How can people relate to that guy? Nobody in
Yeah.
the U.S. can relate to a guy like that. So it's like he's getting his cheers from people who see he's a legit badass in the ring, but people just can't relate to him, man. I mean, I don't think they can. At least I think people appreciate it. True wrestling fans appreciate his talent, but I just don't think he's relatable to the mass general population. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think people, can relate to him. Hopefully, hopefully he gets more and more hated. The more crowd reaction he can garner by being, kind of like that very stern, authoritarian figure. But you know what? That stern, authoritative short haircut, type of German that appeals to a lot of Americans right now.
That
Uh,
does. That's why. Yeah, it sure does. Maybe if we can get more militant in that shit, start saying not anti, but maybe start talking about his Austrian superiority or something. I don't know. Maybe that would work. But
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
again, you have Braun, who is half Jewish, and look at him. He's getting over just on pure hatred, because dude, that guy, he is the way they're booking. I don't like the way they're booking him. Is kind of silly, but I think the effect is coming across strong, and the way he's just being booed as this monster heel is just ridiculous, man. He almost beat Sheamus. I thought there was a minute he was going to beat Sheamus, then Ludwig Kaiser comes in and interferes, but they're pushing him hard and they're pushing him really fast. It's ridiculous, man. I think he's going to be ready to win the world title by next year. Some
Yeah.
maybe but not by WrestleMania, but by SummerSlam, he's world title material, man.
Yeah.
He's fast tracked. They fast tracked him. They took a slow build on Gunther. So I think Braun is the heir apparent to the throne, Roman Reigns' throne. I think they're gonna book him against Brock. They're gonna book him against Brock, and then he's gonna go over Brock, and he's gonna go up against somebody. But if they don't have, they're gonna do the Rock versus Roman Reigns match eventually. But then again, after that, Braun is gonna be the focal point sometime in the future. And
Yeah.
there's nobody like Braun. Braun is gonna be the focal point for the next 10 years, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think ever since Braun Breaker, first showed up, you've always been very, high on him. And the first, like when he, the first, like when he beat Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title, I wasn't too sold on him. When he was a good guy, I wasn't like he's all right. But now that he's now that he's a bad guy, and he kind of is a little bit more like aggressive. I think he's getting better on the microphone. Like when he talks, sometimes I can hear a little bit of Big Papa Pump. Kind of just how he says stuff and kind of how he phrases stuff. So I think if he continues to do that, that would be that'd be awesome.
Dude, I think he should just go all out and just rip off his uncle. Just do the mannerisms, do the interviews, just do everything like his, because I can definitely see his uncle in there with his interviews, but he's got to go all out and just do these interviews like his uncle, man, because that would get him over so huge, insulting the crowd, calling himself a genetic freak, calling himself, I'm a genetic freak. I'm the uncle of superstar. I'm the nephew of superstar Scott Steiner. My dad was a dog-faced gremlin. Holla if you hear
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So that'd be some badass shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just amazing, man. That guy's just. Oh, you know why they call him Breaker?
No, why?
They call him Braun Breaker. Well, they would call him Braun Steiner, but they call him Braun Breaker because when he was in college football and pro football, I think he played pro football too. He would run so fast and just tackle the guys and just basically break them in half. So they called them Braun. His nickname was Breaker on the football field.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's why they call him Braun Breaker. Yeah,
Oh.
I read that in an article. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Now,
Anyway, yeah.
do you think if you went with the Steiner last name, that would, like, at this point in his career, do you think he's already well known enough as Breaker that the change to the Steiner last name would have like no effect on him, or do you think it would like help him at all, or do you think it would hinder him?
No, no, I think they could call him Braun Steiner at this point in his career, and everybody knows who he is. It's like, yeah, he just gets on the ring, cuts the monster promo. It says, I'm Braun Breaker, but I'm really Scott Stein. I'm really Braun Steiner. That's my last name. Brian Breaker's my nickname because I break bodies. I break bodies. I what was I looking for? I break bodies in the ring and in the bedroom. Holla if you yeah.
That would be
Yeah, I
funny. That would be
slam
good.
some bodies. I break some bodies. Where my freaks at? Then
That's
he
funny.
brings out the tiger. Holla if you hear me. And I'm not gonna do no Steiner math right now because you know who I am. I don't need no Steiner math.
That's funny.
That guy, dude, that's Steiner, man. I actually was on Facebook the other day. There's this guy I asked if the Steiners were the most dominant tag team in wrestling history. I said they were number two behind the Road Warriors. I got two or three guys that told me, "Oh man, no, it was the Steiners, man." No, I said it was the Road Warriors. We were
Yeah.
13 years old watching the Road Warriors destroy people. You like
Yeah.
the Steiners, but the Road Warriors, man, they're just slightly behind the Road Warriors. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Hawk and Animal. I remember when I was little. kind of like the first time I watched wrestling, like it was like WWE, and then there was NWA, uh, and it seemed like the guys in WWE were more muscular and bigger, and the guys on NWA were smaller. They just like weren't as muscly, as beefy. But yeah, then one day I saw the Road Warriors just come out, and their music hit. They just like ran out. They just beat the hell out of these two little dudes. It took like 12 seconds. They annihilated and was like, oh my god, these guys are amazing. Like, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
back when all those people in the 80s ripping off Mad Max, but those guys actually looked like they were in Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
crazy,
crazy.
man. Hey, bro, it was great. This show was great, but it's 30 minutes, man, so we got to wrap up. So
All right,
we're
buddy.
gonna watch SmackDown, and are you gonna watch NXT this week?
Yeah, I like NXT.
Okay, I'll watch NXT because you start watching it. I had to put a little snippet on my Facebook page because I was getting pissed off because Drew lost the match. So I said,
Yeah,
I only watch this shit now because the cheese makes me. So
yeah.
I mean, but I'm gonna watch everything just to keep up on it. But anyway, bro, well, great. It's great talking to you, and thanks for everybody in our chat. We have a chat room now because when you're live, we have a chat room. There's people in here who are posting now. We're blowing up, dude. We had like 40 visitors today, so it's getting
I'm like,
better. And every week I mean, every month we're getting like 50 new subscribers. Sooner or later, we're gonna be over 1,000. So I mean, it's gonna be great, man. So we are getting better, and I'm telling everybody I know about us. So I hope we blow up, man. So anyway, I'm gonna get that new White Six shirt, and I'm gonna get a championship belt. I'm already in contact with this guy who makes custom belts. His belts are pretty good, and they're better than the WWE quality belts. So I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna get a world title. I mean, a big gold belt, a Loomis title they call it, with the Ric Flair one. And I'll show it to you when I get it.
the Flair
You
one, the
get one
gold.
too, dude. Yeah, the big one, the big gold belt. So anyway, bro. Well, yeah, great. This has been the Squeeze and the Cheese Show. These the Squeeze. I'm the Squeeze. He's the Cheese. Remember us. Remember to tune in next week. We're gonna talk about the weekend wrestling, like always. You guys have any suggestions on how to improve the show? And maybe I'll hang up a tarp with WWE or something. Maybe some blinds. Maybe get posters. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to say. I mean, man, I'm still getting used to this. Tell us what anything, just feedback, please. Anyways, this has been the Squeeze and the Cheese signing off. Holla if you hear me.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Okay, man.